So yesterday, Nintendo released a direct, which I did not watch everything. So I didn't look at everything. I just know bits and pieces. Obviously, I talked about Pokemon Legends ZA yesterday, but today we're talking about something that I'm a lot more excited about, which is Metroid Prime 4. The trailer, it starts out with Samus on a new planet called Vuros. And it seems that she was called or transported there unexpectedly, so she has to figure out a way to escape. But I guess on her mission to figuring out how to escape, she uncovers mysteries or something like that. I'm not sure what the story is, but it seems pretty intriguing. And then we get our first look at the scan visor, which is awesome because the scan visor kind of gives you environmental storytelling that you can opt in or out of. It's one of the best ways to give storytelling without it being like super in your face. You can just play through the game without constantly being interrupted by unskippable cutscenes or huge exposition dumps. The scan visor also does more than just do storytelling. Sometimes you need to scan a certain breakable object and it'll give you hints as to what you need to break that object. And then we get a view of, the aliens on the planet. So pretty cool there. Some cool looking aliens. We get a little view of the combat, which looks really crisp. The graphics look really, really nice. I'm really excited to play this game for the first time. They look really well done. So this is where the trailer kind of goes into explaining her psychic abilities, right? Are these psychic abilities going to take the place of suit power-ups? Because obviously, you have like missile power-ups, super missiles, bombs, power bombs, grapple beams, different types of beams. So I'm wondering if maybe the psychic abilities will take the place of that. But it looks like in this specific scenario, she was able to control her beam with her psychic abilities. So I can only imagine that there's a lot of puzzles that are going to come out of that. Having to shoot and then control your beam around a corner or hit multiple targets. It's a Metroid game, so there's going to be lots of puzzles. The trailer concludes coming 2025. I believe we already knew that. If we didn't, there's not a solid date of 2025. We're probably looking at, like a holiday release. I wonder if this will come out for the Switch too. And then right at the very end, we get a teaser for Samus's new suit, which looks, in my opinion, it looks sweet. Looks great. Sleek, alien. It's cool. I don't know. What can I say? So Metroid Prime 4 was revealed all the way back in 2017, and you would know it by this famous clip. And that was legendary for people because for years, people wanted the Metroid Prime series to continue. And for years, before Metroid Dread, Metroid fans were just kind of left in the dark. The Metroid series is one of those Nintendo's like underdog series where it doesn't get a lot of love, but it has such a core fan base. I think of other series like the Mother franchise, Earthbound here in America, but Mother 3 was released on the Game Boy Advance in Japan and still has not yet released in English here in the West. And many, many fans are just waiting for the day for Mother or Earthbound to get some love. Another franchise that I know has a core following is the Kid Icarus franchise, and those are franchises that I think of when I think of Nintendo's underdog IP. Star Fox would be another one of those, where it's just like hasn't really been getting a lot of love recently, and people are just waiting for Nintendo to drop something new in those franchises. I haven't been a fan of Metroid for very long, only a few years. Growing up, I never played Metroid at all, really. I did play Metroid Zero Mission as a kid on my original Game Boy Advance, but that game was too complicated for me as a young kid. I think I was probably like 5 or 6 when I was playing that game, and it scared me a lot, so I didn't really progress in it too much. But playing it as an adult, it was just so eye-opening because it made me realize that you can tell a story without shoving it in the player's face. Environmental storytelling is a huge part of the Metroid franchise, But I think that being in first person, it makes a bigger impact on you because obviously you're seeing the world through Samus's eyes. There's even moments in the game where, like, if there's a bright flash of light, on the screen, you can see Samus's eyes in the reflection of her visor. And when rain is coming down, it's splashing on the visor screen. So it really makes you feel like you are playing as Samus. I consider myself lucky to see a lot of love shown to the Metroid franchise because there are fans who went years without any love from Nintendo for Metroid. The series had been left dormant for so long until Metroid Dread came out in 2021, and when I played that, it unlocked something within me. It made me realize that I had been missing out on this whole genre of video games, the Metroidvania style of games. Now I would even consider myself a fan of the Metroidvania genre because of Metroid Dread. It showed me how, even in a side-scrolling 2D game, the story and the gameplay loop can be so addicting. And then fast forward to 2023, where I got to play Metroid Prime Remastered. It somehow perfectly captured that Metroidvania style of game in first person. I don't know what wizardry they were doing over there at Retro Studios, but they nailed that game. And it made me wish that I could have experienced this, as a kid. I mean, the game originally came out for the GameCube in like 2001, so I was literally a toddler. But yeah, just being able to experience that for the first time was amazing. Now that Metroid Prime 4 is on the way, it actually makes me want to go back and play Metroid Prime Remastered again, and even try Metroid Prime 2 and Metroid Prime 3. I have them on my Steam Deck. I obtained them perfectly legally, of course, because breaking the law, never, not me, not this guy. If you've never played a Metroid game before, I highly suggest that you make a way to play them. You can easily access any of the legacy titles. They're readily available on Nintendo Switch Online. You can play Metroid Prime Remastered. Perfect game. You could probably find it used for a discount and even full price. It was only $40. Or just dive in and Metroid Dread. That was a great start. That's where I started. And you can play that game without having to play the other ones. It perfectly recaps everything that happened until that point. And honestly, the story doesn't really matter all that much in those games, which is why I love them, because you can just pick them up, not have any experience with any of the other games, and just play it. Because the story is not like a huge part of the Metroid games. The best part about the Metroid games is the gameplay and the constant feeling of getting stronger and figuring out puzzles and fighting enemies. Fun to fight bosses. That is the game loop. And yeah, that's why I love the Metroid franchise. I'm late to the party, but I'm just as excited as other Metroid fans are. So yeah, that's it for this one. If you're excited for Prime 4, let me know. And if you're not, then, let me know. Peace out.